people, singles, men, women, marriage, music, money, at all. Matrimony. Every Friday by 5 p.m. Central, a new day dawns. You're welcome to join this cutting-edge online community connect for family and friends by Doris Olufunke Olatunji, an online community talk show where all marriage-related existential issues are treated. Whatever happens to dating, engagement, planning a society ceremony, building a happy home, newlyweds, vacations, all rise and fall on Money. Yes, you heard right. Money. So what's your question? Call plus 181-7933-1774. WhatsApp calls only. You can also build your business as you partner with us, increasing your sales and patronage when we make some noise for you. You get us in, we get you out there. Follow us on all your favorite social media handles. This public announcement is brought to you by the Soul Lifters World Group, Alabaster Foundation, and Pastor Doris Olufunke Olatunji Partners.
Welcome to Matrimony. Today is another Friday. What a glorious God we serve. We thank God for giving us the grace to experience today again. And you know, every Friday means fresh episode of Matrimony coming to you live and direct on Facebook, on YouTube. Now on Facebook, you will find us on Doris Olufunke Olatunji's timeline. And on YouTube, you find us on Pastor Doris Olatunji's channel. Yeah, you can find us on Twitter. You'll see us on Instagram. We are everywhere. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to appreciate all our regular viewers, those that join us when we are online, and those that watch. That watch it thereafter. There are some people like that they may not be chance to watch us while we were live. I thank you all, and I want to encourage you to invite others. Yes, invite your friends, your colleagues, your families, invite them so that we'll be able to join experiences together, share our opinions together. Because, I used to tell you, our world needs to be a better place for us, for our children, our generations to come. And this topic we are dealing with presently is very interesting. Abuse in relationship. This issue of abuse in relationship. That's wonderful, and I would not want any one of us to miss it. Even our children, those that are not yet in marriageable age, or those that are young adults, everybody, we need to listen to this. I know some of us are aware of many things, but then knowledge is not limited. You don't say, because I know this, I don't care about it. No. Day by day, you learn new things. Day by day, you know more. When you experience, different kinds of discussions with people, when you go to work, when you are discussing with others, anywhere, knowledge is not limited to, maybe when I'm in class alone, or when I do this or do that. You can gain knowledge from anywhere. You can gain knowledge from anybody. And so it's an encouragement that join us every Friday, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. That will be 9 p.m. Nigeria time and 9 p.m. United Kingdom time. So we expect you, we welcome you, we want you to join us. Yes, it's time for matrimony. Please let somebody tell somebody that it is time. Matrimony is here now. So, and today, I don't want you to miss it, because you are going to enjoy yourself to the fullest today. I have a wonderful and beautiful guest in the studio that I want you to meet, and you will not regret meeting us. So that's why I'm encouraging you. Tell others. You yourself that you're already online, please click the like button, press the share button, share it with all your contacts, let them join us. Just tell them it's time for matrimony. your favorite talk show. Yes, it's time for us to listen to new things and to remind of ourselves of what we have known before. Yes, this is Matrimony and Doris Olatunji. I welcome you. Welcome you, yes. And before we go ahead, that song going on under on the background, yes, I want you to listen to it and dance to it. Yeah, because it's another opportunity God has given unto us. You know, the first half of the year is gone. When do we start the second half? We are past the middle of the second half now. So the Lord is faithful. So we need to give thanks. Yes, I cannot do without thanking God. That is the song. Because He's good. He's our Father, good Father. Yes, not just an ordinary Father. He's a good Father. So He's a faithful Father. Even when we misbehave and when we go astray, He's always there with us. We always chase you down, come back home. Yes, that's how good our God is. He has spared us despite different situations going on in our world. He's keeping us safe and alive.
2,000 years ago, He died for my sins. 2,000 years ago, He paid the price for me. He don't even know my mama. Before He died for me, He don't even know my papa.
Yes, our God is good. So as you are waiting, we are not just waiting in vain. We are not just waiting to just stay on the line. I want you to use this opportunity to invite your friends, to invite everybody you want to be partaker of Matrimony today. Yes, today is the 38th episode. We are in part 7 of abuse in relationship. Wow. Yeah. Every episode we learn new things. And today again, I'm very sure you will not regret joining us today. So invite others and let's have a nice time together. What a good way to begin our weekend. Yeah, I welcome every one of you. Yes, as you are inviting others, let me bring in our guest today. Yes, I don't want you to miss this opportunity, this episode. That's why I'm encouraging you to invite others. It's not going to be business as usual. You will be really blessed. Yes, because this is our own area. And she can tell you a lot of things about what we are talking about today. I'm very delighted to welcome our mommy. She's a grandma, though she's a small girl, I know. Very young and beautiful. She's a grandma. Blessed mom, blessed grandma. Yes, I'm delighted to invite and to welcome our own very doctor, Dr. Oluwatoyin Adewole. Thank you so much, ma, for coming today. We appreciate you. We see it as a privilege having you, a whole you, with us in the studio today. Thank you so much for honoring the Lord in us. So I want you to introduce yourself to our viewers before we jump into the program today, ma.
Hello, everybody. You're welcome to the program. My name is Dr. Oluwatoyin Adewole. I'm very delighted to be here. And I hope everybody learned from the program too. What we are going to discuss.
Thank you so much, ma. Yes, let's welcome our guests. Let's welcome her. Thank you so much for coming. And those that have joined us already, thank you. Favor Olumide, Stella Olatunji, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us today. Yes, invite your friends, invite others, and let's come together. In a little bit, we will be gone for commercial, and by the time we come back, we start the show right away. So do not go away, please. Stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you so much, ma, for coming today. You know, for some weeks now, we started this topic, abuse in relationship, and we've had various guests in the studio, and we've said a lot of things about abuse. But I'm very glad that you are here today, because some people sent some questions ahead that, okay, I said, don't worry, we are going to deal with this, because Doctor is coming today. This is her area. She will be able to shed more light on whatever you have on your mind or you are asking. But that does not prevent you. If you still have questions, please call us in. The number to dial is +1 817 933 1774. Again, +1 817 933 1774. You can call us on WhatsApp. You can make it a regular call. Yes, we will be here to receive your call. And then you can type your questions too on Facebook. You are all welcome. Thank you so much once again for joining us. Yes, ma. The first question, the lady that asked this question asked me that they used to say that, let me say, practically putting your life on a hold because of marriage, especially if they see that a lady is of age and she's not having any suitor. You know, they may think that it's because of the way you live your life. You have a good car, as young as you are, you have a house already, that you don't have to do all those. Basically, you need to act as if you are nobody, because if you act that way, men will be afraid of coming to you. So that was the mentality. That was, you know, when we were growing up from Africa. Now she's asking the question that, how is that even fair? Is it right for a lady to put her life on a hold because of marriage, or just be free to do your own thing, go ahead, do all the things that you need to do? But if you go ahead to do all those things, is it possible that you will still have somebody to say, hi, can I marry you, or will you marry me, or all those kind of a thing? So what do you see to that, to the question, and how do we handle that?
Oh yes, thank you so much for the caller. And it's a tough question.
That's right.
Yes, because it's not something that you can really pinpoint. That, okay, this is the best answer for it.
Yes, ma'am.
And this is not the best answer. But like you said, that was the belief, especially from the culture we are coming from. That, okay, once a girl has everything, you're educated, you have vehicle, you have house, you have enough money, you have a good job. But unfortunately, she couldn't prove herself. But these days, no man wants to marry a liability.
That's right.
Especially young boys or men today, they want a woman who can prove herself. They want an intelligent woman.
A woman of worth.
Yes. A woman that can be there actually to support. Not a woman that will be a liability on them. A woman that you can say, okay, that can contribute intellectually to whatever they are doing. I can understand the fear of the society, that once the girl has everything, she might not be humble. Humility is the key.
Humility is the key.
Yes. You can have everything and not be humble. You can be arrogant with it. And you can believe that because I have all this,
No man can
nothing a
control
man
me.
can tell me.
Uh-huh.
But if you have that, with humility, is a plus for you. Even men will come to you without you even asking. So I believe that having everything shouldn't be a barrier, for you to get a man or to get into marriage or any relationship.
So depending on the way you manage what you have at hand, having everything should not be a
It
barrier.
shouldn't be.
You may have everything and you are still submissive.
Yes.
And the guy sees you as the person he can live the rest of his life with. You can have everything. You may not even have half of what somebody else have, and you are so arrogant, with it.
Yes.
So it all depends.
It depends.
On how you handle
Yes.
or how you manage whatever that is entrusted into your hands.
Yes.
And that point you said the other time that men don't want anybody that will be a liability to them.
They don't.
Yes. Even the Bible says it that we should be helpmeet.
Yes.
Helpmeet. So you should be able to help your spouse.
Yes.
For whatever reason, financially, because there are some people that believe that it's not the responsibility of a woman to take care of children financially or take care of the home financially.
Not in America.
That is, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That is his responsibility. He's the head of the house. He's the father of these children. So he should be the one that will be responsible. There are some women that, even though they have good jobs, but they believe that their own money is for their own body or whatever anything they would think they can use the money for, not necessarily their family, because this responsibility of the family should be on the man. And that is not the right thing. Yes, the Bible even calls us helpmeet. So in what way do you think you can now help? If you cannot help in those areas, you should be able to be of help to your family, to your husband, to whatever, because that is what God intends you to be. So I like that answer that you gave the other time. So you don't have to necessarily put your life on a hold.
No, your life doesn't have to be on hold for that.
So you go ahead, acquire all that you need to acquire, but make sure you are not arrogant.
Yes.
And
humility, submissiveness, and actually fear of God.
Fear of God.
And at the same time, you have to love what you are. You have to love yourself first. You have to love yourself. You have to trust yourself before
you can love somebody
else. Or trust somebody else, because it's what if the love is there, the respect is there. That's what you are taking there, and it's not something that you can fake. If you are not somebody who is humble, you cannot fake it.
Even if you fake it,
yes,
you can't fake it for that long.
For that long, it's going to show.
Of course.
I believe these days, especially, we shouldn't. I will not advise any woman or girl, to put their life
just say
on
because
hold
of that
because
you
of
want
that.
to put your life on hold. That's good. Thank you so much. Oluwa Olatunji, thank you for watching. Olufunke Olatunji, my namesake. God bless you, ma. All the way from United States of Nigeria. Thank you so much. Ola Adedokun, my princess. God bless you, ma. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. Please invite others. Let them join us. And this is a very interesting topic we are dealing with today again. Yes. Another thing is that a lady told me she went for a counselor. She went for a counseling rather. And she was already in a relationship that time. And the counselor told her that don't marry somebody that cannot stand another person's success. There are some people like that they don't want you to succeed. Not necessarily, they want you to succeed, but you must not be successful more than them. If you succeed more than them, then there's a problem. So the counselor was telling her that don't marry a person that cannot stand another person's success. And she says she noticed a few of those things in the life of her partner, that whenever she progresses somehow, maybe promotion at work, or she just thought of, okay, I want to go ahead, I want to do this, I want to go back to school, I want to do this, that his reaction is not always positive, though eventually he will come around, but not instantly like that. That she's now asking that, with the addition of what the counselor told her, that should she go ahead with the relationship, or good to see you, my sister, Dr. Adewale. That is Princess greeting you.
Yeah. Thank you. That's my sister right there. Yes.
So what do you see to that piece of counsel she received? Because she's now trying to find a level somehow.
Yes, actually, I'm in support with the counselor. Yes. Wherever the situation is in the relationship, there should be a kind of encourager to each other.
That's right.
And if one is down and the other one is progressing, the down one should look towards what the other one is doing. And they should be together to encourage each other, not bringing each other down or being jealous.
Yeah,
and I had, yes, it's not only, they don't really have to go to a counselor to know that. And the thing is that if you have a guy or woman in a relationship, and anytime you have a promotion or trying to go to school or anything, and it's trying to discourage you, that is not for you. Because the jealousy will always be there.
And it will increase.
Yes, by the time everything goes on. Because that person actually have a kind of self-esteem, low self-esteem. And he or she doesn't want the partner, to be above him or her. So it's going to be a future problem.
Real problem.
A real problem, because by the time she makes more money than him, it is when the problem will come, oh, she's too arrogant, she's this, she's that, and that will create problem. Eventually that will lead to abuse.
Of course.
So I will not advise anybody to really
go
ahead with that kind of a relationship. And even if you are going to think about going through with that relationship, you've got to know exactly what you are into. And you have to be ready.
Be prepared.
Yes, for that battle. So it's not something that is advisable.
Thank you so much. I hope you are listening to me. Yes, and listening to our guest this evening. Thank you so much. Just like I asked the other time, I want to bring the question on again about being emotionally strong and matured. Yes. There's some school of thought that they believe that for a lady in particular, though it goes both ways, but for a lady in particular, you have to be emotionally strong and matured before you can say, okay, I want to get married. Because marriage is not always bread and butter. When you are not strong enough, let me say emotionally matured, and you are faced with certain situations, you cannot just be crying every day, calling everybody, calling your daddy, calling mommy, calling this is what this person is doing to me. They believe that if you are not emotionally matured, that is exactly what you are going to do when you get to your marriage. But that if you are emotionally matured or physically matured, you are able to, weather every storm. You are able to take charge of things. Now, I want to ask, how far is that one true? Okay, now, she's just old and she wants to go into marriage. What do you know about marriage? So how do you advise? From where we are coming from, they believe that ilẹ̀ obìnrin ò kí ń pẹ́ ṣú. Women, they grow old very fast. So you have to get married on time, do whatever you need to do on time, give birth to the children, as many children you want to give birth to, and then because you will soon grow old, women age easily, maybe due to stress or whatever. So that's their belief. Now there's somebody that is saying that I'm not yet ready for that, but because of all they're saying is just considering, okay, let me just go ahead. So what is your take on being emotionally matured or physically matured before you go into marriage? Not into relationship, but into marriage.
Actually, that can go both ways.
Yes, ma'am.
And before we handle that, we have to think of, what do you mean by emotional?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by psychological or physical? And age doesn't have anything to do with that.
Mm.
There are many girls that got married at the age of 18, 19, but they are good wives. There are many that got married even very late in their 30s, and they are bad. Being emotional, yes, they might be young, and it depends on the man too. Maybe they started courting when they are 16, 17, and other stuff. When you see young people going into marriage, there are certain factors that are attached to that. That, okay, why do you want to get married as soon as possible? They might try to do that to prevent them from cheating, or biblically, that, okay, we want to have sex, and we've got to follow the word of God. That if we are married, then we have the right to do so.
Okay.
So, being mature, I don't think age has anything to do with it.
Mm.
There are many young girls that are married. I've seen people that are married and they are still married. And when you see them, they are role model for people to see.
Wow.
In marriage. And they got married. I have a couple that got married when the girl was 18, he was 19.
Wow.
They are about 40 years old now. And they are still together. They actually shows more maturity than people who
those that are.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes, there might be times in the marriage that will come that they may not be able to handle.
Mm-hmm.
Like dealing with in-laws, dealing with some stuff in the family. Those are the period they might think that, okay, am I ready for this? I cannot handle this. Yes, they will still run back to their parents. But maturity does not depend on age. Maturity depends on the way you see things, on the way you actually analyze
and handle things.
Yes, on the way you can face the challenges. You have to be strong, either old, young, in the marriage, to be able to deal with situations. And like I said earlier, there are other factors involved. You have to be mentally stable.
That is it. Mental health is very,
you have
very
to be
important.
mentally stable, and you cannot be that kind of a person that every little thing that happen in the relationship, you have to cry about it, you have to complain about it, and also don't see everything your own way.
Don't be selfish.
Yes,
in
self-centered.
summary.
Don't be self-centered. So maturity doesn't come with self-centeredness.
That's right.
And so those are the things you have to consider.
Maturity
Yes.
comes with, yeah, if this thing is not, it's not always going to be on my own terms.
Yes.
So when it comes, I should learn to accept and let's
Accept it and
rub
take it the
mind
way
to
it
and
is.
yes,
Yes.
take it the way it is. Not as if always I should insist that
okay, yes.
this thing should
Should
go
be
my
my
way.
own way.
That if
Yes.
it's not my own way,
There should be a compromise.
yeah, there should be a compromise.
Yes, there should
Yes.
be a compromise in a
We have
relationship.
said that over and over
Yes.
on this talk show, even when we were talking about dating, courtship, and communication, that marriage is all about compromise.
It is.
You don't just say because this is what I want and
it has
that
to
is
happen
what
this way.
must happen.
It doesn't work that way.
So you leave some things, you add some things. That's how you rub minds and you grow up together. You don't just insist that this is what must be done,
Yes.
because that on its own is a form of abuse.
It is.
It's a form of
controlling
abuse.
issue.
Yeah, and we have said it when we started this abuse in relationship, that abuser, all they think is about control. They want to
it.
be in control. So
Control and
whatever,
power.
yes, whatever would not make them to be in control, that has to be
They
a
turn
great
it to
issue.
physical.
They turn it to physical. Yeah, they just have to be in control. Or it's all about control.
Yes.
All the time. Doris Olatunji, yes, maturity does not come with age. You can be grown and not be matured, and you can be young and be more mature. Yes, that's what doctor just said. That's it. There are some people, even in my language, they will say agba okogbon.
Benny.
Yes, so far that you are elderly doesn't mean that, because you see some elderly people, the way they handle situations or the way they behave at times, you will just be wondering that why did he or why did she do that, that kind of a thing. And at times it's a more younger fellow that acts more maturely.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very, thank you so much for answer that. Before we now go to domestic violence, that I want us to see the impact of domestic violence on children. The last question I want to ask you, ma. Somebody says, should you marry your friend? You know this guy, you know this lady, you grew up together, or maybe you don't even grow up together, but you've been friends and you're good friends. That, in fact, people that don't really know you may be feeling that maybe you are having a romantic relationship. You are very close, you are very good friends. So is it advisable for somebody to marry? Because majority believe that why will you marry your enemy, or why will you marry somebody you don't even know? That yes, it's good for you to marry your friend. So what is your take on this? Marrying my best friend, or marrying the person that we just met one way or the other?
Actually, I have two ways looking at this.
Okay.
Yeah, the first one is to support it. That you can marry somebody you've known, maybe grew up together, went to the same church, parents know each other. That actually will allow you more openness with each other, and also it will prevent certain behavior.
At least you know that
To each other.
somebody is watching you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you know that families are involved,
Mm.
and you don't really want to disappoint them.
Mm.
And knowing each other from young age, you can understand certain do's and don'ts of each other.
Certain, not all.
No, not all. Certain do's and
Okay.
don'ts of each other. So that can be advantage
Mm.
for that kind of a relationship.
So yes, in that aspect.
Yes, in that aspect.
Yes, ma'am.
But no,
On the other hand.
on the other hand, Because you grew up together, you went to the same church, you knew family together, you did this, you did that. There are certain behaviors that people develop when they are grown. You guys have been apart, maybe go to college, go your different ways, then come back again. You don't know what kind of characters that person has anymore. That person might hide some stuff, trying to prevent you knowing that he or she has certain...
Because he or she doesn't want to lose you.
Yes. And might not even come up when you guys are dating until you are married. Then all those characters, behavior, actions will be coming up. So I don't want people to put their relationship or say, because I know you before, I must marry you, or this and that.
So the basic thing is, wherever you go, whether your friend, whether the person you don't know, just have the fear of God. Make sure you put in all that you're supposed to put in your relationship.
And naturally, before going into a relationship, you have your what you are looking for in a man, and you have what you are looking for in a woman. And you should look, either you know that person before or not. You should look that, okay, does this person match what I'm really looking for? Can I stand this person in the long run? And this marriage is not something of now.
Of course.
For eternity. So are you ready to live with that? So once you know all those and you can answer it, then you should be ready to go.
Yes. Oh, Stella Olatunji is asking question. She said, oftentimes, abuse is disguised as or confused with love. What will you suggest to younger people as parameters of determining abuses in love? You know, there's some people say, he loves me, she loves me. It's just, maybe it's just behaving that way, or maybe he just acted that way because of whatever. So, how do they not confuse abuse with love? So that they will know that love is not blind.
Yeah. Most of the time when people say, I'm in love, infatuations can be there. Lust can be there. So whatever behavior comes with it, we accept it.
Regardless
of whatever it is. For you to know the difference between love and abuse, actually, if you have a man that are in a relationship, maybe friendship or dating, and is already controlling, he doesn't love you. And he's not always thinking of you first. It's me.
All about me.
All about him. That is not love. But he will keep on telling you, I love you. And in a relationship, if you don't have a say, that person doesn't love you. Because most of the time we say, okay, because I love him, if he say this, I will just accept it. If it's this, I will just do this. And anytime a man raises up his hand,
for whatever
reason, that is not love.
So what of if it's the woman that causes it? Maybe she abused him or she did something. That one come.
Yes, women, we use our mouth. Women can provoke to the extent of a man can go ahead and kill that woman. But that doesn't give any man the right
to raise his hand.
And that's why we always advise that if there is argument and the argument is heating up, that we get to the extent of physical, is either one of them de-escalate, leave for each of you to calm down. Leave the home, take your key, leave, and leave each other. You can even live
Exactly
for a day.
what my guest said last week. Said in situations like that, okay, 2 weeks ago, that just take the car key, and if you don't have any car,
just walk
stroll
out.
just stroll out.
Yes.
Just leave the
Just
situation
leave
to
the situation at that time.
so that it will not
Yes.
generate to something terrible, more
Yes.
terrible.
And to be sincere, love and abuse is difficult to separate. Because most of the time, women that are in abusive relationship, they continue to stay there because they love that guy.
Oh my God.
So they take the love to accept the abuse. And it's going to be very obvious to them that this person doesn't want me or is not meant to be. But they won't leave because they said I love him. So that is the problem. To separate love from abuse is a very difficult thing for women. I've been an example.
Women.
Yes.
Wow.
I've been a victim like that. For real. So I'm not going.
Can you just tell us something about that, because you have yeah.
And that's why when I see women that are battered, I don't judge them. And I try as much as possible to put myself in their position because I've been there. Women, yes, I've been in a battered relationship for a very long time.
Wow.
And let's say I was, not any longer. I was in it
Praise
for
God.
about 16, 17 years.
Wow.
And I stayed.
That's a long time.
Yes, I stayed assuming that things will change. Things will change. Unfortunately, it
It
did
refuses
not.
to change.
And that is what many women are going through.
Maybe it will change.
It will
Maybe
change.
situation will turn
Yes.
around for good.
And unfortunately, battered women, they protect their abusers.
That is it. That is why it is difficult for people at times to even come in and say,
Yes,
okay,
to even intervene, because they protect. Most of the time they will protect. I
yeah.
did it.
I remember the woman that, whenever she had an issue with her husband, everybody in the other flats, in Africa, we build our, at times 4 flats, 3 flats and all those things. Other people will just be, what is, so whatever anyone tells her or ask her to do, definitely she will still go and tell the husband everything at the end of the day. So most of the time people don't even like to, talk to the situation or come and maybe intervene on whatever she's experiencing in a marriage.
So back to the question of the love and abuse.
Yes, ma'am.
My advice would be know the difference between abuse and love.
Be sincere with yourself.
Yes. And that's why you need to tell yourself, can I continue to take this? Does this person really loves me? Am I going to be alive at the end of the day in this kind of a relationship? So don't let love blind you to see that you are being abused.
Love is not blind.
So the
Love
best
is
yes.
The eyes of love is wide open like this.
So when all the factors of abuse is there, the best thing is to leave.
Like last week with my guests, we were just saying that a lot of abuse is going on everywhere, but then you should do all that you need to do within your power, or that you feel that, okay, if this is done, talk it over, get counseling, do all those kind of a thing. If all those things are not enough, it's not still working out, and your life is at stake, then the best thing is for you to leave.
Yes.
So that you will not die prematurely.
And unfortunately, many people will tell you, because you are a Christian, there is no divorce that should be involved. You don't have to be divorced to separate.
Of course.
Separation can be necessary at times.
At times.
Yes, to get back on track.
Yes.
With separation, you can learn what your grievances are. You can learn what your differences. You can learn how to accommodate each other.
Yes. Because when you are separated,
Yes.
you are not just separated. Okay, I'm living alone, he's living alone. You are separated to take actions.
Yes.
Go for counseling. Look inward.
inward.
Be genuine. Be
With
sincere
yourself.
with yourself.
Yes.
Okay, how am I contributing to this?
To this.
Or what is the cause of this? So when you think of all those, and during the period of separation, if you are ready to come back, it's going to be like a new beginning.
Yes. I might
You
even
know
get
your
better.
space. You know your space. I know what I'm supposed to do. You know what you're supposed to do, and the relationship becomes a better thing for you guys and for children, especially if children are involved already. Beatrice Adeyemo Okoye, thank you for joining us. That's my sister, my only sister. God bless you for joining us. And there's a question over there, ma. My own question is abuse a sign of mental illness, a sign of immaturity, or a spiritual problem? Like, is the abuser okay mentally? Be it man or woman, you know we have said it. A man can be abused, a woman can be abused. So now the abuser, I mean, is it a sign of mental illness, or maybe let's say immaturity, or let's say a spiritual problem? Bless you, man. So what can you say to that?
That's a very good question.
Yes.
And unfortunately, many people are not seeing it as a mental problem. But to be sincere, it's a mental problem.
It is.
Yes. It's more of a mental problem than of maturity. Many people have been diagnosed. For instance, people diagnosed with bipolar, ADHD, borderline behavior, they have
Those borderline personality.
Yes. Because they have moods. And some men, especially men, how will I put it? I don't want to be offensive. Some men, they have that bitterness in them. It's a sign of mental health, that they are not always happy with anything. So no matter how much you put in a relationship.
So those kind of men, even it may not necessarily be their romantic relationship, if they are like boss in a company,
it can be a
the
problem.
way they would treat their workers,
Yes.
they are not just
Whatever-
happy that somebody is
That's
happy,
it. Yes.
or you are showing
Showing
happiness in
around
their presence.
them. Yes.
Ah.
So it's a kind of mental health problem. And not seeing any other person as human.
That's a big one.
Yes. So it's not maturity.
So even if he's not
That's it.
seeing somebody as human, how will he treat that person as human?
That is it. That is the major problem. And that is why there are many times women, we don't notice, we don't pay attention. When you are talking to your husband or boyfriend or whatever, and he shuns you up. When you are with a man and the only thing he's interested in is his phone, social media, television, game, and doesn't see you that you are even sitting down there, is a problem. So, mentally, is an abuse.
So abuse, you see it as more of mental illness.
Yes, because if a man is raising his hand, beating up a woman, and doesn't even care, or even taking a gun to kill somebody, that's a mental problem.
So that's another level of abuse. So if somebody is beating you, it's even better than somebody taking gun. That one is...
None of them is actually acceptable.
It's not acceptable, but you see that gun kind of a thing.
Because it graduates.
Yeah.
And the level of provocation in that person actually will generate to that stage.
Of taking gun or knife one day
and do, because whatever is around at that time. Yes, if you see a man hitting the wife, carrying a chair, what's the difference between carrying a chair and gunning somebody? That means because he doesn't have a gun at that time.
Let's assume that it's because he doesn't have gun. Wow.
So it's a problem for real. And that's why you see when you have a problem in a relationship or marriage, they ask you to go for counseling. They ask you to go, separate ways for a little bit, and maybe church.
Talk of that. When you go for separation, it's not that after maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, the guy just comes with his family or with his pastor and said they have come to beg you. You now pack all your things, you go back, they say, they have begged me, Abi, what can I do? Go. That is not kind of separation.
No,
when you are separated,
again.
it will happen again. Yes, definitely. You have gone there again, and this time it may be worse.
Yes.
You may not be alive to come out of it. All the necessary things that are supposed to be done when you are apart, make sure they are done. He needs to go for counseling. You need to go for counseling. Prayer is very, very important. You are praying. He's praying. My guest last week gave an example of a lady. She's a Christian, and she just discovered that the husband was not the same. Anytime the husband beats her for whatever reason, at the end of the day, he will beg her again and all that. Please, I will not do this again. It's a mistake and all those things. And over and over, when it happened like 2-3 times, she decided that it is time for separation. We talked about it. I think we should just, we need a space. So she was alone, the guy was alone, and when they were doing that, thank God they are all Christians. They were just talking, doing all those things, going for counseling, and praying. Everybody on his own. By the time they came back together as a family, things became at least pretty much normal. Unlike any little thing, he will hit her for whatever reason, and
And
so
if I may chip in.
Yeah.
Counseling at times doesn't work for some people. That person needs to be ready to change.
It must be a willing thing. It must be from within.
Yes.
You must make up your mind.
You can decide to go for counseling to satisfy yourself.
Okay, because they are saying it, I should go, I will just go, so that they will not disturb me again.
But it has to be genuine. It has to come from your heart.
From your heart.
You really, really want to be together. Not just because, they asked me to do this, let me just do
If I don't do it now, they will see me as somebody that is not okay.
Yes. So, change of attitude, behavior should come within.
It must be
and
a
actually,
thing from the heart.
That is the major thing that I can change around a relationship.
That's right.
Not the counseling. It's not the counseling that is
of
changing
course.
them. It's what they are ready
Your
to
determination.
accept. Yes.
Determination
That's
to...
Okay. This relationship, I don't want it to go. I want to be in it. It shouldn't be because of kids. If they have children, it shouldn't be because the
of
children.
Course.
Don't let it be. But it should be that, okay, this person, I still want to be with this person, and I can still live with this person. We can work it out. That should be the priority. Yes.
and it must be a kind of determination that this is what I want to do, and I'm putting my all into it. I'm not doing it because I'm being forced to do it. I'm not doing it because they asked me to do it so that they will not see me as an arrogant person, or they will not see me, okay, just to satisfy them. I'll just do it. So whatever you want to do, let it be from your heart. Be determined about it. Yes, that's a good one. And now, ma, we've been talking about domestic violence and all those kind of a thing. Can you just remind us or tell us fresh things about all this kind of a thing that we've been hearing? And
okay, abuse comes in different ways.
Yes, ma'am.
Abuse can be physical.
Uh-huh.
Abuse can be verbal. Abuse can be economical, like you said. It can be financial. It can be sexual. It can be psychological. It can be emotional. So abuse depends on what the abuser is doing. But mostly an abuser has two things as a weapon: control and power.
Control and power.
Yes.
Yes.
And once the abuser is still holding on to those two factors, you will not have problems. There will not be abuse. Once
so far he or she is in control and has power
to dictate
in the relationship, the abuse will not surface.
No. Once that party is losing that control on the other partner, or the power to control things, to turn things around, the abuse starts.
Because they don't want to let go.
Yes. Because an abuser will dictate your life to you. Will tell you what you need to do.
And this is what you must do.
do.
If you refuse to do it, then there's a problem.
There is a problem there. And an abuser actually can be intimate partner. An abuser can be a family member. An abuser can be your husband, even ex. Husband, ex-wife.
So if it's ex,
yes.
How do abuse come in again?
Yes, because they will not give up. They will make sure that wherever relationship you are in, they mess it up.
They want to mess up everything for you. That's
and
okay. If I don't have you,
nobody
else will.
An abuser will use your kids to deal with you. And that is why I say ex. Because they will not let go. They don't want to see you happy. And they will continue to intimidate you.
Intimidation.
Yes. Harassment is a form of abuse.
Of course.
So all those is what an abuser will hold on to. And lack of communication in the relationship. When you have a partner who is not ready to communicate with you, it's an abuse.
It's a form of abuse.
Yes. Because you cannot express yourself. You are always scared to talk to him. You are always, every time you want to say something to him, maybe you have to practice before you go there because you don't know what is going to come up.
So you really have to be prepared and practice and do all those things.
Yes, and you have, most of the time, you have to keep quiet for an abuser.
If you want peace to reign.
Yes. And an abuser might not be physical. It's not only physical beating, eating that is an abuse.
Yeah.
Verbal abuse is even stronger than physical abuse. Because that person can make you feel less
and
of
can
yourself.
damage your
Mentally,
emotion, damage you mentally.
Psychologically.
Yes. Verbal is more terrible.
Yes. And I will give an example.
Yes, ma'am.
When I was in a relationship that was abusive, apart from the physical abuse, it was verbal abuse.
Wow.
What do you think you are? Don't you look at yourself?
Hmm.
What do you look like?
Do you think you're somebody? You think you are important?
And nobody will look at you. Nobody will do this. I became somebody that I don't have that confidence
again.
And when I want to go out or something, I will come back, stand in front of the mirror.
Oh my God.
Look at myself and said, but what is here that you can't see? But when you go out there, you see
people appreciate you, complimenting you,
telling you how beautiful
you
you
look
are,
so great.
But you get back home, this person will look at you as if you are nobody. And that eventually was damaging me.
Of course.
But you know, in the culture we're coming from, we don't know what battering was. Until I got to this country. I didn't know I was being battered. But it was affecting me psychologically. Many times talking to myself, that, what did I do? What can't you see? This and that.
And you feel less important. That even when you want to take a bold step to do something, yes, you feel that.
Most of the time, an abuser will push you to be an alcoholic or a drug user.
So that you'll be deriving at least.
Because, okay, satisfaction that I want to sleep, I want to do this, that and that. That is why you see many victims actually today that they are on drugs, alcoholic, or even out there just enjoying their lives. Because they've been abused to that extent that...
Yeah, they feel that they are useless.
Yes.
So what am I living for? I just do whatever I need to do, and if the end comes, that's it.
So that's another thing that an abuser uses. Abuser will make you feel so much less of yourself. So that you
will no more self-esteem or very low self-esteem
will be there for you. So that is an abuser. An abuser will not let you go.
Even when you are separated.
Yes. An abuser will still work so hard. An abuser will always apologize.
I'm sorry, I'm not doing that again.
Any small thing, we apologize, but we repeat the same thing.
Over and over.
Over and over again. Yes. Those are the signs that you need to look out for in an abusive relationship.
So now that we are talking of abusive relationship, especially those that have children, you know, it's not every relationship that have children, but in a marriage that have children, from where I grew up from, you know, our mothers, they will say, it's because of children that I'm enduring all these things that I'm doing. Some of them will tell you, you see, your father, but you know, it's because of you guys that I'm doing all those things. Is it okay for us to stay in an abusive relationship because of children? And if you stay there, whether we stay or not, what are the impacts of domestic violence or this abusive relationship on children? Both for the ones that are still young, you know, that don't even know their right from their left, and with those that are of age, that they know what is going on between daddy and mommy.
Yes. I will take it from, first of all, from marriage. Not all people that have a relationship that have children are married. You know, that is very common, especially here, that they live together for years, they are not even married legally. But they stay together, they have kids together. But back from where we're coming from, the belief is that once you have kids for that person, you have to accept whatever is going on. They will tell you anything in your bimo fun ti kúrò ní And you don't want your children to be stigmatized because of the relationship. That, oh, the law, because you can't leave, because what are you going to do about the kids? So many women are forced to stay in that relationship. And when you ask them, they will say, oh, I'm staying there because of my kids. But to be sincere, you will be dead.
And those children will live their lives.
Yes. And I didn't realize that too. Because abuse does not start in a day. Most abuse, you will see it from relationship ongoing. Before having my first child, the abuse was there. But because of the family belief that nobody has been divorced, nobody have kids for different men, I decided to stay. I don't want to have my kids for different men. I want my kids to be for the same man.
They should have the same father.
Yeah, the same father. So the abuse that I was taking from even pregnancy, I took it until I have the third one.
Wow.
So whatever anybody is telling me,
it's falling on deaf ears.
Because I will say, no, I've got to stay because of the kids. I've got to stay because of the family name. That I don't want to leave because I don't want to be the first.
I don't want to spoil my family's
to
name.
Be the one
I don't want
kids
to.
all over the place. So that is part of what the victims suffer. And especially there, where we are coming from. So you take it. And there is nothing you can tell a victim unless that victim is ready to leave.
Unless the victim talks to herself or to himself.
Yes, it takes at least 7 episodes for a victim to leave.
Wow.
The victim has to tell herself or himself that, enough is enough. There is nobody that can tell a victim to leave, that victim will go. Because the victim will always look for excuse to stay. And unfortunately, the impact
and excuse to excuse the partner.
Yes.
To excuse to make the guy feel that
yes,
to make people feel that it's not really 100% his fault. Giving excuse on his behalf.
The victim will accept the fault most of the time to protect
the
abuser.
The abuser.
Yes. And the victim will protect the abuser to the extent that you cannot even condemn the abuser in front of the victim. So that actually gives more power to the abuser. To keep going, because he knows that you will not go ahead and involve people in your relationship with them. And when it comes to children, although many of us says, I want to stay because of my kids. But we are damaging the kids.
Of course. We said it maybe at the second episode of this abusive relationship.
Yes, because these kids, they witness it. Either the verbal abuse or the physical. They are there when the father is beating the mother all the time. They are there when he's calling her names.
Or when the mother is beating up
the father. Or beating up the father. Or the boyfriend or whatever it is. They witness it. And most of the behavior, some children exhibit that.
Of course.
Is a kind of trend. Is a kind of pattern.
Because it's like you are mentoring them.
Yes.
They see it as, okay, if this is how it is, then it's not bad for me to do this kind of a thing too.
And apart from showing that behavior, abusive relationship has discouraged so many children to be involved in relationships.
That one, we have said it several times. In fact, there was a time one of my guests gave an example of a young lady, like 14 years old, that they were taking the girl to the church. You know, the parents were divorced at that time, and I don't know, maybe they're together now, but they were taking the girl to the church, and in the car, the girl just spoke from nowhere that she doesn't even wish to get married. That she cannot even get married to anybody. And the woman was saying, why did you say that? I said, can you see that? Can you see, mom? The mom was on her third marriage. The father was on his second marriage. And even before they were separated, before they were divorced, one problem or the other, beating, doing all those kind of a thing. And that woman was telling her that, but it's not all the relationship that is like that. You know, your parents, they have certain issues that they need to work on. Can't you see your grandparents? Because that woman said the grandparents were married for 30 years at that time. Can't you see your grandparents? You can emulate their own example. It shows that marriages still work. And the girl said, for grandpa and grandma, they are from another world, and it's on another level. That their relationship, I like it, I love them, and you know, but for dad and mom, that is the generation now. You know, grandpa and grandma, they are old. That I don't wish to get married for whatever reason. So she started preaching, she started trying to convince her, but on a broader scale, if you, I've not done any research, you know, it's not authentic research kind of a thing. But if you talk to young adults, take 10 or 20 of them, ask them about their opinion about marriage. At least like 15 or 12 will tell you out of 20 that they don't want to have any relationship. They don't want to get married, rather. They can have friends and not, because they are scared because of their experiences. Because most of them they have experienced a lot of things with their parents. Some of them have had a lot of things. Some of them have been involved even. They've been battered in the relationship. Yes. So they feel that maybe it does not even want it to have any relationship. And like I used to tell them, no, it's not every relationship that turns out like that. Now, you are seeing these things in the life of somebody you don't like. Look inward, see your own life too. Yes, it's not. That does not mean, just like we were saying about marrying your friend or whatever. That does not mean that the relationship will be 100% perfect. There's no marriage that is perfect. No marriage that is so perfect, yes. If they have that kind of mentality, I used to tell them, you can make your marriage work. If you decide to go into marriage, there's nothing. We have good examples of people that, not as if because they have a lot of years staying together, because if you ask them out of those years, they will tell you their experiences. Not as if they are perfect, but day by day they are working on their relationship. They are doing all the things that they need to do, and that's how it's working for them, and it can work for you. That's the way I used to talk to anyone I come across out of those young guys or young girls that have that mentality. But the truth of the matter is that some of them, what they experience, what they see their parents, or may not necessarily be their parents, what they see or what they have experienced one way or the other, make them conclude that that is the way they want to live their life, that it's better for them.
It takes God's grace.
God's grace.
For many of these young people to go into marriage. Especially when they've experienced.
When they have experienced abuse of any kind.
Any kind. And that's why it's so difficult for some of them to trust in their relationship. Because the experience, whatever they have witnessed, because this was physical, they see it. They see their father beating their mom up. They see their mom or something. But it's not very common for women to beat. we can use our mouth, but we don't really hit. Although women will provoke you, hold your clothes, do this, do that.
Family.
You but the thing is that this has messed up many children. Even school age kids.
Yeah.
That's when you see behavior at school.
They may not be able to concentrate.
They don't even want to be at school. They are suicidal because what they've been through. And some children will tell you that, okay, when you ask them, what is the problem? My parents. What about your parents? They're always fighting. The police are always in the house. They are always arguing. Why do I have to be here? I'm tired of it. I need to go. That's why some children will experiment some stuff to prevent that pain in them. And that's why we try as much as possible to tell parents, don't involve your kids in your relationship or problems that you have. Because parents use children to fight each other.
That's another level.
Yes. They tell negative things about each other to the parent, to the children. All because they want to gain the
interest, the love of that child.
But they are damaging the children with that. Now the children can be confused because when they get here, it's a negative thing, get there, negative. So it has been a lot of issues with kids.
Especially for those that are still very young, that don't know, but for those that are getting matured,
it's really affecting the teenage ones mostly.
Yeah.
Because they are rebellious.
Always rebellious. And they know the truth.
Yes.
So if their father is trying to poison their mind against their mother, or their mom is trying to poison their minds against their father, they know the truth because, they see everything that is going on.
And most of them might not even be able to cope with the situation in the home. That's why they go out, with friends. They try to get the happiness from outside. But in trying to do so,
they are introduced to a lot of things, drugs,
many things. So that's the problem with children.
Yeah, it's a very terrible impact on children.
It is. Unfortunately, the children suffer more in a domestic violence situation.
The children suffer more.
Yes. And each party can even take the aggression on the kids. They do that. Because whatever is going on, the father can take it out on the kids.
On the children?
Yes. And the mother can do the same thing. Especially in a situation that they know that, okay, this is supporting the other party. That child might suffer for that action.
So in the family, we have different parties. This one goes with his father or with her father, and this one too.
With the mom.
So they tend to maltreat whoever is in support of whoever. Those are very terrible impacts.
Yes, mental health is number one. Terrible impact on kids from domestic violence. Because some of them might bottle whatever they have experienced. They will not share it. They become withdrawn from activities, from friends, from everything. And the only thing they think about is, how do I end this? How do I end my life? I'm not happy. My parents are fighting. My parents are this. My parents are that.
And when the Bible says children are God's heritage, they are gifts unto if somebody gives you a very cherished gift, there's a way you take care of it, especially if that gift is coming from the person that you really love. So if God has gifted us with these children, we need to live our life right, we need to work on them so that they will have a glorious future. Because some of them that are affected this way and they eventually tend to get married, you know, most of them will even exhibit all those kind of behavior that they learn from their childhood. They repeat it in their own families too. So it becomes from one family to the other, and it becomes a pattern, a trend, of which God is not happy with. You know, we've dealt with a lot of things on this platform, and we said that marriage is an institution created by God. So this end time, God is trying to use families, marriage, to make this world a better place. Now, a child that will go out there and be shooting everybody, or is he or she into drugs and all those things, is from one family.
It's a mental health issue.
Another child,
it's from childhood.
yes,
abuse.
and another child that will go out there and behave right is from another family. So family is very, very important, and that is why we have to be very deliberate. There are a lot of things that you want to say, you want to put under control or swallow because of those children.
Actually, the most important thing, the advice I would give parents is that let your children's interest supersede your interest. They need to put their own interest down and let the priority be their children's interests.
So that they grow up as normal.
Most of the time, yes, in a relationship,
adults.
yes, you might say, okay, this is what I want. But at the same time, you have to look at your kids and say, okay, the behavior I'm exhibiting, is it okay for the kids? If you have to argue or do anything, my advice is that don't argue in front of the kids.
Because that same thing you are doing,
yes,
they will do more.
Don't involve them. Don't use them as a weapon to fight your partner. Because some parents will put the kids in so that they say, oh, did you see? You see what he was doing? You see what he has been doing to me? Blah, blah, blah. That is affecting them. So avoid as much as possible not to argue in front of kids. Not to tell them stories about what is going on. Just try to undo your situation yourself.
Between yourself.
Yes. Because you are damaging them.
And the damage is not even for now alone.
No.
It goes a long way.
A long way. A long way. Actually, many children have been dead from that. You know. And the parents, many parents don't realize that until it is very late. Before they know that, okay, what we created in this child is what we did. So that's always the situation. Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we will go on commercial briefly. Then by the time we return, we'll be able to round off for today. Yes. Please do not go. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Matrimony. I really enjoyed myself today, and I know our viewers too, they are really enjoying themselves. Thank you so much for joining us on Matrimony today again. Yes, my doctor, before we go, what do you think is the way out, or the resources that we can tap into? One thing is certain on this platform, anytime we talk on anything, you know, We are talking about abuse. We are talking about you are in abusive relationship. The children are impacted and all those things. What of if you are really in that situation now? Does that mean that's the end of the world? No way out, no solution? Or maybe you are just talking in abstract. What of those people that are in need now? And, they just maybe way out or resources we can tap into or how to go about it so that it will not end in a very bad situation like some examples that we find around.
Yes. In a relationship, I will advise that you need to learn how to communicate with each
Communication.
other. Communication is very, very important.
Mm.
And apart from communication, don't be the control freak.
Mm.
Because it's not going to help.
Mm.
Learn to accept each other's, what do they call it, contribution. And compromise, like we said earlier, to be able to move forward with whatever decision you are taking.
Mm.
And in a relationship, always avoid third parties.
Mm. As much as possible.
Much as possible. Because some are with good intentions, some are with bad intentions.
Mm.
So I will advise that we minimize that. And the resources that I can recommend, actually the first one is if you think you are in a safety danger, please call 911. For those who are here or those who are in other countries or other states or wherever it is, you can call any local emergency center to be able to get help immediately.
Immediate help.
Yes. And before you call that, if there is any means for you to get out immediately, please do. And
at least
seek
get
help.
into safety.
Yes, safety. And get help. And also...
don't insist that you will kill me today. I will not leave this place. Run first.
Yes, when you get signs of problems coming up, learn to discuss with somebody you trust. Try to let somebody else you really trust to know about the situation.
To be in the know-how.
Yes, to know about the situation. And
don't just keep quiet.
Keep quiet about it. Don't do that. And like I said, like in the United States, we have we have the National Domestic Violence Center that you can call the number. Here, if you're in that situation right now, I can give you the number to call. National Domestic Violence Hotline. They call it the hotline. It's 800-799-SAVE or 7233. So you can call and let them know what is going on, and you will get help immediately. And also, we have women's shelters that you can go to. We have like Save Haven, One Place Save here in the Metroplex. I'm talking about those in Texas, and I'm sure they have different, names in other states that you can go to. And at the same time, in country like Nigeria, they have,
of course,
like
they
that
have
now
a lot.
too,
Yes, they have it now. A lot.
Yes, please get out and go there so that you can save yourself and your kids. And like we said, counseling is another thing that you should seek, especially for mental health center. You can go there, you can call, you can discuss, and even the church is another place that can help. We have resources in the church that helps with that kind of situation too. So my advice would be, please don't stay in an abusive relationship. Find all means to get out.
Especially when
help.
It involves risk of life.
Risk of life, that you know that this is actually death. There is nothing you can do about it. Please get out to get help.
Thank you so much, ma. And on top of all those, the The Bible says something in the book of Luke 1:37 that with God nothing shall be impossible. There's nothing God cannot do. In whatever relationship you are, it may not even be romantic relationship. And whatever relationship be, it's romantic relationship too. There's nothing God cannot do. Don't keep quiet, and don't keep quiet in praying too. Favor Olumide asked a question the other time talking about his abuse sign of mental illness or immaturity or spiritual problem. Yes, when we have dealt with mental issues or sign of immaturity, maybe the person is not matured, it could be spiritual too. Because just like you said the other time about some people you talk to, they may not be happy with you. That be conscious of whoever you want to share your story or your life with. So, be it mental, be it whatever, prayer cuts across. Don't keep quiet in praying, in telling it to God, because God really wants you to enjoy your life. You are his child. You are his child. So he really wants you to enjoy your life. He wants you to enjoy your relationship. So anything out of that, talk to him about it. You're talking about communication. Communicate with God in prayers too. You know, the Bible says in the book of Proverbs, maybe 21, about a wise woman builds her own house with her hands. It could be man, no, a wise man too. Because, you know, in those days, it's very common, just like I said it on this platform a few weeks ago, that the Jewish culture is very familiar with some of our cultures in Africa. You know, in those days, the men, they go out to fend for the family, look for what to do, while the women stay at home, take care of the children, take care of the home front. Maybe that's why the Bible says a wise woman, you know, builds her own house with her hands, because they believe that women are at home most of the time than men. But for man and woman, all of us needs to be wise in building our homes. There are some people that they compare their homes with somebody else's, and the person you are comparing your home with, unfortunately, you don't know the real what is going on there. Whatever they want you to see, that's what you are seeing. And that is what you are basing your own life or your family on, which is very wrong. Be wise in any decision you want to take, and be prayerful. And all these necessary steps that you need to take when your life is at risk, please don't hesitate to take them. God has given that. You know, in the church presently, we are dealing with our health for this month. Our health is very important. God wants us to be healthy, and so our marriage needs to be healthy. God really wants us to be healthy in every aspect of our lives. And don't just sit back and say, I don't think things can work. No, do all the things that you are supposed to do, then God will do his own part. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us again today. And I want to say a huge thank you, a very big thank you to our guest today, Dr. Adewale. Thank you so much for coming, man. The Lord will replenish you.
Amen.
And the Lord will bless you the more. We really appreciate you for sharing with us out of your wealth of experience. Thank you so much for coming. And I want to appreciate all our viewers today. Thank you so much for joining us. For those that have contributed one way or the other, for those that have asked questions, thank you so much for making our day and for making this weekend a wonderful one. I want to say big thank you to the director and the crew of One Hope Media Dallas. Thank you so much for standing by. Thank you for taking care of us. And thank you to my pastor, to my husband. Thank you so much for your support. The Lord bless you. The Lord replenish you. And the Lord makes his face to shine upon you. Everyone, I say thank you. We will see you again next week by God's grace, if Jesus tarries, on same platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram. They will see you on Friday by 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Nigeria time, and 9 p.m. United Kingdom time. The Lord bless you. Enjoy your weekend and have a glorious evening. Thank you so much. Bye. Say bye to them. Thank you so much.
Hello, Dallas. It's Matrimoney. People, singles, men, women, marriage, music, money, at all. Matrimoney. Every Friday by 5 p.m. Central, a new day dawns. You're welcome to join this cutting-edge online community connect for family and friends like Doris Olufunke Olatunji, an online community talk show where all marriage-related existential issues are treated. Whatever happens to dating, engagement, planning a society ceremony, building a happy home, newlyweds, vacations, all rise and fall on Money. Yes, you heard right. Money. So what's your question? Call plus 181 7933 1774. WhatsApp calls only. You can also build your business as you partner with us, increasing your sales and patronage when we make some noise for you. You get us in, we get you out there. Follow us on all your favorite social media handles. This public announcement is brought to you by the Soul Lifters World Group, Alabaster Foundation, and Pastor Doris Olufunke Olatunji Partners.
Of being judged mechanic, of being how will people see you? They will say, yeah, people will just see you as gossip. Yes. Ibi tó sọ dé, they will. Òun yẹn náà dẹ̀rẹ́, a tún sọ nínú friend another person, bó sọ pé mi ni mo tí gbogbo èèyàn fi mọ̀, tí gbogbo community, tí gbogbo church, tí gbogbo. so tó bá dẹ̀ ti yọ lọ́ọ̀kan báyìí.
Yeah.
So that's why many people don't like to, not because of abuse alone. Many issues. That's why people don't feel like talking now.
Most of the time, when people ask me about marriage institution, apart from being biblical about it, I guess it has to go. I don't really believe much anymore about marriage institution.
Really?
Yes, because of the hypocrisy that is involved. You know, many people want to, how would I put it, want to bastardize that institution. People just, there are many married couples that are not happy, but they are under the pretense of staying there for, okay, kí ni ọkọ ti bá mi gbọ́ pé mi ò sí ilé ọkọ, kí ni ọkọ ti bá mi gbọ́ pé àti divorce, kí ni ọkọ ti bá mi gbọ́ pé kí ni ọkọ ti bá mi gbọ́ pé relax, they are not happy. And at the same time, they try to condone so much and hide under the pretense of Christianity or reason or whatever it is. And most of them are, like I say, hypocrites. Nǹkan tí wọ́n mọ̀ pé àwọn ń gbà mọ́ra, wọ́n máa sọ fún somebody else.
Má gbà mọ́ra.
That those people will look at role model in marriages. They have been part of those people breaking people's homes through their advice, through their family. For instance, there is a guy that came to me to make a report to say, who advised him against me. He came in looking for papers, got involved with Akaka. But the wife is aware of doing this, doing that. They agreed that get to the papers invested before you accept to come. At least the money to buy. So she came. So they buy the husband's money. So now, they now got involved because he has to be with them to share with them. And we not to in separate states. Our Borodi now said it's a sin for him to see papers through that avenue. Biblically, whatever they want to call it, I don't buy that. Okay, because he was doing what was necessary for his family. And to my both people, they were okay, I'm against that. The wife was aware. So if you know you are not going to accept it, why should you go ahead to do it? Now, turn the wife against the husband. Now, the guy has been deported. Make the Akata to know what was going on. Went to immigration. Immigration already has all the information. Immigration went to the children's school. Everything.
Ìyàwó wa ń kọ́ àtàwọn ọmọ. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ sọ náà nìyẹn pé ní ìsìn tí ọkọ ti padà sílé bó ni òun ṣe wá ń.
So my point is that when you don't know how to advise, don't give people advice that can create more problems under the pretense of.
Like my pastor will always tell us pé especially téèyàn bá wà bereaved ó wá débẹ̀, it's not a must that you should talk.
No.
Not only in bereavement. When issues like that happen, you don't know how to come in, or you don't know how to come in without not creating more problems. Then just shut up. You don't have to say anything, because if you don't say anything, kò sẹ́ni tó máa mú ẹ sí. Then àwọn tí wọ́n gba ọ̀nà yẹn tí wọ́n fi ṣe ìwé wọn, experiences oníkálukú yàtọ̀.
And the thing is that many Africans never and people like that, because you
some of them they don't know wọn ò mọ bó ṣe ń lọ because they have it smooth when they wanted to come in. That's it. If you don't know what to say or how to come in certain situations, then don't because now obìnrin yẹn báyìí nìsín bí ò tiẹ̀ dàgbé kó jẹ́ pé àwọn wọ̀nyẹn gan náà wá ń sponsor ẹ̀ náà wá ń ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀. What becomes of your own marriage now? Because ṣé mo pé ọkùnrin yẹn kó tó lè wọ inú ìlú ìpadà because of the way tán fi deport yẹ kẹ́ àwọn òyìnbó dẹ̀ yé ti kìíní yẹn wọ́n mọ̀ pé majority ṣe but wọn ò ní sọ̀rọ̀ but kí wọ́n wá rí èyí tó jẹ́ má bọ̀ sí wọn lọ́wọ́ kán wá rí èyí tó jẹ́ life and direct bẹ́ẹ̀ kó jẹ́ pé ìyàwó ẹ̀ gangan ló wà ìyẹn. Yorùbá ni ó jẹ́ àwa aládẹ burú jù nírú nǹkan yẹn and majority of other people that are doing it wọn ò tiẹ̀.
ọjọ́ wo káwá mọ̀ ẹni tí mo fẹ́ sọ ẹ mọ̀ wípé ìyá ẹ bá mi sọ fún un pé ọmọ rẹ ti lọ́ọ̀yà wa ẹ bá mi sọ fún un because abandonment ni àbí kílẹ̀ pé lẹ́ẹ̀kan kílẹ̀ yìí gangan pé lẹ́ẹ̀kan abandonment. So cancer àti mi ti pé mélòó rẹ̀ a sì jọ bẹ̀rẹ̀ kínní ìlú ẹ máa ń yọjú sí wa lẹ́ẹ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan. hypocrisy àwọn Arab ó lágbára gan. Wọ́n da kíní borí, àwọn ló ń ṣaṣẹ́wó jù, àwọn ló ń ṣe géèjì, àwọn ló ń ṣe gbogbo ọ̀dọ́ wọn ló kù. ṣé mo dúpẹ́ o.